Do you ever feel like you just can't think straight during or after a clash with someone? Personally, by the time there is communication breakdown, I'm usually so annoyed or so angry that I need a way to recover and a way to understand what's going on inside my own heart. Well, today I'm inviting you to try a very simple 3-step reflection process. And this process can help you think straight again. It will help you find words to name your own interests, your own needs, your own desires. Hi, I'm Dr. Jolene Kinser, and I'm glad you're here today. We're continuing in Chapter 6 of Changing Normal, which is all about looking out for interests, both your own interests and the interests of others, that person that you're clashing with. So here are the 3 steps. First, grab a journal, grab a piece of paper, and just write out your feelings. Don't condemn them. Feelings are just flags suggesting that something matters to you. They're signaling, they're waving at you. So just write it out. I'm angry, I'm so disappointed, I'm feeling so sad right now. And then second, pour out your judgments. Tell your journal, tell God everything that you're thinking about that other person. Write out the way that you're perceiving that they're just being so unfair or inconsiderate, misunderstanding, disrespectful, and whatever it is, right? He's so selfish, she's impossible to work with. She never asks for my input. He doesn't value the work that goes into planning an event. And third, try to identify your unmet desires. So one way to do that is to list out what they don't seem to care about, but you do. So maybe you're judging your husband or your wife for being late. They don't care about being late. I feel so stupid and embarrassed when we walk in late. And then ask yourself and God, what do I really want when I judge them this way? What does being on time mean to me, and why? Make a list of what surfaces. In this situation, when you dig deeper, you might find your interest is actually protecting your reputation of being a responsible person, or respect for your time. When you discover interests, you have found relational gold. You've moved from a messy pile of accusations to a clearer understanding of what your heart desires. And once you have that clarity, you can bring it to God with open hands, and you can say, Lord, I really care about my reputation, and I care about being respected. I offer these desires up to you. I recognize that my reputation in your eyes matters most. Help me not to sacrifice this relationship to get what I want. Lord, help me to find a way to talk about the things that I care about in a loving way instead of being critical. Finding words to describe your own interests often creates space in your heart to now try to understand the other person's interests. You can use these same 3 steps to consider what their interests might be. So what are the 3 steps? Identify feelings, name judgments, and identify unmet desires or needs. So first, write down what you observed about the other person's emotions and remind yourself that these emotions are a flag. They're letting you know that something is affecting that other person, and it would be wise to try to understand what's going on. 2, write down the judgments, write down the accusations that other person made against you. And then 3, ask God, what do these judgments reveal about what that other person cares about? And write down what comes to mind. And even though what comes to your mind are only guesses, they're a very good place to start. And lastly, encourage you to ask God for the insight and the ability to go have a genuinely curious and open conversation, one where you can discover the interests and needs of the other person, as well as articulate your own needs and interests. Have you ever tried journaling in these areas when you're angry? The more often I journal, the more I discover a pattern. a core need that hides beneath my anger. And often it's a core need like security, trust, or being heard. That need is just waiting to be discovered and to be met, both in you and in the other person. Well, next time we'll talk about the I'm right trap. I'll see you then.